Hey guys, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. There on Friday, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead came out on Netflix, and I watched it, and I had fun with it. But there are quite a few issues I have with the movie. First off, has a really good cast. The most prominent ones, obviously, is Dave Bautista, Gary Dillahunt from Deadwood, and Tig Notaro, who you might know from Star Trek Discovery. There's a bit of a backstory behind how she got involved in the movie, and I'll get to that in a moment because that is one of the criticisms. But the main plot centers around a viral outbreak in Las Vegas, and the city has to be cordoned off, and everything has to be left behind, including the money. There is up to 200 million in a vault underneath the Vegas Strip, and a billionaire, an eccentric billionaire by the name of Hunter Bly, essentially hires a group of mercenaries known as Last Vengeance to go in, and it's led by Dave Bautista. This movie, it would be a hell of a lot more enjoyable if it didn't take itself so seriously. If you're going in expecting the Dawn of the Dead remake, which was another Snyder zombie movie, you may be disappointed because this movie doesn't have the luxury of having James Gunn as the writer. This has a different writer, and it's way too serious than it needs to be. You have a fantastic performance by Dave Bautista, a very emotional performance, but it's juxtaposed with some very silly elements such as zombie tigers and like super zombies and zombies on horseback, and it's just you can't take this kind of emotional drive or kind of drama seriously when there's stuff like that chucked onto it. I I I didn't hate it because of that, but there were some other factors that really knocked it down a couple of notches. The runtime, 2.5 hours for that movie. That movie could have been that movie could have had 20 minutes shaved off, and it would have made no difference. I did like the characters. I did like the fact we got time to kind of get to know the characters. So when they were picked off, like in the likes of Aliens, when they were picked off, there was a bit of emotional weight. But the fact remains, you didn't need that amount of time to get to know them, or you didn't need to build it up that much. Again, the first 10 minutes, I think it was fantastic. They did show how the city got infected, and it was very reminiscent of the opening to the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead. But there's just some elements like where characters are being introduced or where characters are having flashbacks. I genuinely do not think that that needed to be kind of peppered in there. I think it slowed down the pacing of the movie and really went against it. So the runtime also went against it. Um, there is some nice nods to horror. There's an obvious nod to the Romero zombie movies and to like the remake of Dawn of the Dead, which Snyder done. Again, though, this movie really suffered by not having James Gunn on board. You've a nice little nod to American Werewolf in London at the start with two soldiers. Yeah, you'll know when you see it. But I think the movie just took itself too seriously, and the runtime was a bit over the top. 2.5 hours didn't need to be that length. The other thing, and this is something that maybe it was because I knew about what happened in the background or what was going on behind the scenes. But Tig Notaro's character, Peters, came in to replace another actor because there was issues with him. He had put up something on Twitter, and I think he had gotten the shaft as a result. But it's so obvious that she has been digitally put into scenes, or there's characters talking to her, and obviously those the two groups actors were not on the set. It like in daylight, it is very obvious that she's been digitally dropped in there. Some of the scenes where she's indoors, that's all right, but there is a scene where they're just coming out of the kind of barricade into the city, and there's this kind of weird halo effect. You see it once or twice, and once you see it, you just can't unsee it. And that was another thing that kind of bugged me. But again, that could have just been because I knew what was going on around in the background. But yeah, good performances regardless, and there is some fun to be had. I wouldn't go out of my way to kind of go watch this movie. If you have 2.5 hours to kill and you just want to stick it on. It's a fun movie. Batista does a good job. There's some cool elements. Again, you got a zombie tiger. Can't go wrong with that. I just think it takes itself a bit too seriously, and it's just that bit too long to enjoy. So, have you seen the movie? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.